Going on, everybody? Get my charts and stuff set up. All right, top of my list. See what took out what and things are looking like for the coming week. First, we got Apple on the list. Shooter forming on Apple there, so we'll see what that holds for next week. It looks like it might have reached the top and dealing with some exhaustion. Also answering things in the chat too. We got on the daily a failed 2 down, so that looks pretty hopeful. We were dealing with just a slight pullback. That would be a 2-2 reversal on the daily, 2 down if we continue going downwards. And what I've been doing is just pretty much putting my levels in on a daily basis. Like every time a previous pivot's taken out, then I end up or a previous candle, higher lows taken out, I end up using that as a potential point of resistance or support. So it's kind of worked out to do this on a daily basis, pretty much at the end of the day. Then I'll, still come look in the mornings before the market opens to see what my sentiment's going to be. As far as how Apple is shaping up here, weekly, got some down day here from Friday. Low is also going to be the weekly entry, so that'll be a day. We got a 2-2 reversal on the week. That does go downside. Then this guy here, make him yellow. Let's just be a 2 up on the week. I like to know at least my weekly levels, my daily levels. Definitely helps out for me, at least, when it comes again to identifying resistance and support areas. So that's Apple. Broadening formation is still valid. This broadening formation was actually drawn with the 2 and the 3 candle here back in late January, early February. Looks like it's still valid. The range expansion is still happening, and if we go downside, then we go down. See which way we go there. But that's one of the neat things. I know I posted something in the Discord earlier on in the week about, like, I think it was Neo or Lucid or something, but just that the power of that broadening formation and knowing where things sit and where price discovery might actually try to reverse before it punches through is pretty valuable stuff. All right, MJ, you asked about the watch light. Are you talking about this thing over here on the left?
Yeah.
I mean, it's working. I'm tending to look for, depending on. So what I do is I'll go through the charts on a daily basis, right? I'll on my watch list here. I'll go through each one of them, find the setups that I really want to take a look at, and then I'll put them in my flexible grid on the 30-minute time frame and just have them sit up here. So I have 6 max, and then I have SPY and QQQ just to kind of see what they're doing. So I mean, as I'm looking at these 6, I can easily see that it's green for the day, it's green for the hour, because I also have that up here as a time frame continuity up there. But I can look. I don't mind looking over here either on stuff I'm not keeping an eye on. Like I think I had Neo up here one day, and then I was curious what Lucid was doing. I didn't have Lucid on my actual like of six, so I was curious if Lucid was following suit, and I think it was to an extent. It just wasn't moving as fast, so that was kind of nice to be able to quickly look over here and say, oh yeah, okay, two up, two up, two up on pretty much all the time frames.
Okay.
Okay.
It's gonna sound funny, but with the transfer of the screens over the internet, your screen is like ant size, and so I'm like, oh, okay, so you've got 6 different charts, plus you got the SPY, you got the Q, and I think you're on the 30 minutes. I'm assuming.
Oh, it's this is small on Discord.
Y-
Oh, bummer.
yeah, it's just tiny on my screen, so.
Oh, yeah. So I do have these six 6 on the 30-minute, and then each one of the charts I have the TFC attachment, that 50% one that I made for the day, then the ATR, the overlay for the day, just so I can again see if I'm dealing with like a 2-up day, a 2-down day. That's the green or the red box in the background there.
Yeah.
So that way I can see the time frame continuity for the day, but also like what the actual candle looks like in relation to the previous day. And then the Strat Remix Super Light, which sometimes will throw up like an actionable setup up here, but mainly I use it for the numbers.
Okay.
Candles. But yeah, I mean,
Do you have the month
do I?
or the week? Do you have the week on there too?
Over here I don't. Or on my watch list, no. I just have the day, the 4-hour, and the hour.
On the overlays on the chart, is that what's the green box like? If you look at, I think it's XOM. You've got the overlays on the dailies, but then there's like a green on the. Oh, is that the ATR box?
This green here, no. So this one, I've been doing this over the last couple weeks. Let me go to my back to the other charts. I'll show you. I've been doing this over the last couple weeks. These green boxes. I'm trying to like learn how to chart liquidity area, like reversals where the buying happens by the big people and then reverses or consolidates. So that's what the green areas are. So XOM's a little weird on that one, but if you look at like AMD maybe, like you can kind of like we came down to this area at one point and consolidated a while back in August, September, and then bounced up. So to me, big money jumped in and we saw a big move up. And then big money got out, we saw a move down, big money got out again. So I'm just kind of toying around with the concept right now. It's still in its infancy in my head here, but it does seem to, kind of have some correlation with how fast price moves through something.
Mm-hmm.
Like Carnival Cruise CCL came down. This was a previous liquidity. We're looking at the week, but if I put it on the daily over here, it looks a little. Move it over to the right side here, but it came down here and then we bounced up and then we started kind of consolidating, but not really dipping through too much, and then came back up through consolidating again. So yeah, it's all experimental right now, but
Cool.
I can't tell you exactly what it's doing just yet because I'm still exploring that. But that's my liquidity pool attempt.
Very cool. Very cool. And that tells me for sure, like that's not a weekly on on your 6 grid. Like that's not a weekly overlay. You're like, nope, that's liquidity. Got it.
Yeah. The dark one, yeah. The overlays are the you can kind of see with like the high and the low of the daily candle. Yep.
Cool. Yours is so much more streamlined and focused down. If you saw my chart right now, you'd be like, yeah, you need to get rid of a few of those.
It's okay. I used to have a lot of things as well, and then as I went through and figured out, oh, like, well, never really could get this to work. Never really understood that study. I mean, like one of the big ones for me, and a lot of people use them, and nothing against it, but like the SMA lines. Like the 100, the 50, the 21, stuff like that. I just always I don't mind them on my chart. They're lines, but at the same time, it's like, am I gonna base my trade off that line? And I found I was never doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what's the point of it being on my chart then? Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that's just how I go with my mentality of things. Like if I'm not going to use it, why do I have it?
Yeah, that's just noise.
All right.
Cool.
Over to AMD. Weekly went 3. That's ugly. So we had gap fill wrote on the chart here for the daily. Still has the gap fill there. So that's just kind of a something I want to keep in mind. When let's say AMD decides it wants to reverse and gets back up to the 116.38 area. So I'm lines around right quick. Like I need a new mouse. Mine's not clicking right anymore. Mashing on it during the day. Bye. So AMD that reversal. I like the magnitude on this one. If it does reverse on the daily, goes from 111.42 to 116.38. That's pretty solid magnitude for AMD. Downfall is with a small account on Mondays. Not really. Actually, they're not horrible, but you don't really want to go waste 50%, 40%, 30% of your or risk. I should say not waste, but you don't want to go risk a ton of money for 50% of your portfolio for one potential play that you might get stopped out on, and then that might pop you out the rest of the day. So I continuously chart AMD, and I usually have it up on one of my 6 charts that I track during the day. But I probably won't play it until Wednesday or Thursday on a small account. So if we zoom out a little bit and take a look at the broadening formation, so it kind of still valid. Came down, came through. Broadening formation was made on looks like used the 24th and 25th, just kind of like another higher high. So yeah, this was pretty much all the stuff you see on these charts is minus the white lines, stuff that I did last Sunday. So these are going to start looking familiar to you too, just like they do to me. But sometimes I end up moving things around. I think Microsoft was one of them that I changed the Browning formation on because it just like blew through it. But then the next 2 days I think it came back through. So there's nothing wrong with leaving your Browning formations up or your patterns up because chances are things are going to come back through. Oddly enough. So AMD, all right. So what we don't have is much downside, but it looks like there's. So let's back to charting. Stop actually chatting, just charting. And got questions? We can talk about it. Looks like AMD actually did close a little further down after hours on Friday. See what the future holds for 9. Hasn't been that long. 6. Wow. We might be tapping into things all the way back from July. He would slide downwards there for AMD. And if you want me to post any of these specifically, make sure you just tell me in the Discord. I'll usually post them anyway afterwards. And I am recording this one, so he asked me about that today. Bank of America, man, just everything was bleeding. So like Bank of America, one of the broadening formations I did here, it fell out. clearly, but I did draw another one, I guess, a while back. So I guess that one's valid. So at this point, I sit here and look at this and say, well, that's probably nothing anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and who knows? It might have some relevance, but at this point in time, I don't really. I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, I hope it comes back into Browning formation again. Like if I'm not gonna use it, range expansion does exist and things do come back in. So that's something to keep in mind there too. I think I drew one. Looks like I have a really old one here on like the weekly or something. I even have a bottom for it. That's what we would call a double top in PA analysis world. So Bank of America comes back up to that 50 area, and the fact that it's a nice even 50 is probably no coincidence there. So yeah, it's Bank of America's back up towards that 50 area. I'd be either looking for it to pop back down, or if it punches through, then I think sky's the limit at that point for that high in a very forever. Okay, so buyers kind of stepped in a little bit at the end here at some point. We'll look at the actual day. Friday. I guess the buyers sort of stepped in. This 40, 50 area seems to be a pretty a decent area of support right now for Bank of America. So, and the lookout for back up. Sitting there after hours didn't really move much. So. Got fill on the downside, moving to 38. There, again, it's 7, all areas of possible support. Or if you're buying, puts, things to look at. You want those areas of support to correlate with, correlate with your price targets. Like if I'm looking at, if we get below 38.17, the next area of support is going to be 37.86. So I'm going to be looking at the 37.50s or the 38 puts. Just because it's the area that I'm looking at that area there. I don't want to get too far out of the money. So. And then if it starts seeing, bounce back like this, we see consolidation, gets down to my price target or close to it, and we start seeing consolidation, and I'm in profit, I'll probably just get out and take my profit. I'd rather get out with a few bucks in the green versus waiting for theta to completely kill me. Okay. Bank of America. Carnival Cruise Lines. Played this a couple times last week. This 2-day, that was huge. Like that 2-day. That 2-up day was nice. So we could be looking at a 2-2 reversal on the weekly. Robin Bonker. A lot of consolidation though. You see here, 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, 1. So again, like all sitting around this liquidity zone from I'd have to. When I drew, probably from this 2 candle here. Drew these all in my day. This guy, this bounce here. So this guy, this bounce. So just kind of been sitting here. And it's interesting because, what this kind of shows me is that price does have a memory. Price action has a memory, so we can sit here and kind of see stuff as far as, well, this back in the day, this did this, and it bounced, and here we are. So, all right, so this is going to be a potential 2-1-2 up. Those. 1, 2 down. A lot of weekly magnitude. So the question now is, sitting here looking at CCL, I could adjust my broadening formation, kind of come outside of it, or I could leave it as is. And there's nothing with coming outside of broadening formation, coming back in. That is range expansion to definition. So change the range expansion. So I could move it back in. I'll leave it as is for now. The grocery store telling me to come get my groceries. I already picked up. Second order. Okay, so at that point, CCL to the downside. This is where I start, looking at something and saying I don't like it. At least right now. So what I'll probably do, remove that line. I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna make it like an annoying color to say like something like "Do not play till." Probably need to put a message on there so we can see it. Just because we're sitting here with consolidation, I generally want to see, like, if I'm going to play the downside, I want to see a wholesale fail of all of this stuff. That way, when we're looking at magnitude now, if we fail this, 1945 area, and which is incidentally that same gap fill that we came down, filled, and then popped back up. So, I definitely want to see this area fail again if we're going to play the downside, because nice move too. Otherwise, upside is pretty open there. There's you have good magnitude. And incidentally, $20 seems to be a pretty happy place for CCL right now. I mean, this is what it did on pretty much all last week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it actually had a nice little pop. And Friday kind of came down. So this is also one of the reasons I've started playing just a certain amount of tickers with this watch list I have. I now see over the last week that CCL likes $20. And if it pops up above $20 at any point, then I think we're going to start seeing some good moves. But as of right now, $20 seems to be a happy spot. If you can't support $20, it's going to drop, of course. But at least at this point, I can see that $20 seems to be a pretty happy medium. Whereas if I was just looking at CCL at a point in time saying maybe I want to play it, I wouldn't necessarily know that right off the bat, at least. So, okay, so looking at DraftKings. Don't have this as our weekly target anymore. Definitely didn't hit that. We were looking for a 2-2 reversal. Play that downside. Did not go. Other thing. Another 2 down. Looking at a 2-2. Have another area of potential resistance. But the broadening formation still looks valid. I still don't understand the draft. I mean, like, this draft. And it's FanDuel or like that. Just amazes me. Crazy. But then again, that's why we don't care about what the stocks are. We care about what the price does. All right, Facebook. Interesting play on Friday. Friday I played Facebook just for maybe Thursday. Quick move. Every day I put something in it. Pretty sure. Now we'll be looking at a 2-1, 2 down, 2-1, 2 down. Or we could be looking at a 2 up. And you sit here and look at this, and now it's like, great, we see a 2-1-2 down, but we trigger, and the magnitude for that 2-1-2 down is crap. Now I'm just going to totally remove that line. Put it down there. So then it just becomes kind of like a compounded 2. Always bothers me when there's, you know, plays like this that just don't have much magnitude. So it's like, I'll just make orange. Probably at that point, orange is like, don't play it to me until it gets past this point. We're running formation wise. I guess we could change it. I mean, we now have this as a going away. Trader Raj, yeah, it's recorded. Guess that could be now a broadening formation. Connecting higher highs to lower higher highs. Previous pivots, basically. That's the way I do my broadening formations. I look for pivot points, and then I just connect them. This one seems a little crazy from a magnitude perspective, so I don't like that anymore. Go with that. So that is what Facebook looks like. Lucid. I have debated on whether I want to keep Lucid on my list or not. Mainly just from a volume perspective. Just doesn't really have the, like, you look at Lucid compared to Neo as far as the options go. I mean, you know, Neo's much more liquid. You know, it's not like I've been having problems getting in or out of Lucid when I play it. It just doesn't really move as fast, which means I'm sitting in a trade a lot longer than I want to be. I don't know. What do you guys think about Lucid? Do you like it as a ticker?
I'm okay with dropping it.
You what?
I'm okay with dropping it personally.
Yeah. Let's get rid of it. It's done. Goodbye, Lucid. List by committee. I like it. All right. So Microsoft. Possible 2-2 reversal. I like that setup. I mean, this guy comes down, buyers step in, all at the end of the day, mind you. But buyers still stepped in and turned this 2 down to a green candle at least. So we'll see what next week holds for it. Chevy, that name, because that's the reverse. Down. Get rid of that guy because it's not the weekly anymore. Get rid of that one because I care about the weekly there. Comes a price point, and I'm not going to worry about much else. Got the upside with liquidity, broadening formation, drawn all the way back, using the point from whatever day this one was, 119 and 2-2. So we still got some range expansion that could happen here. Might be coming back through. Again, we'll let them open on Monday morning and see what happens. It does look like it's a little up after hours Friday. This is getting so much faster after the very first day. Now I'm not making all the lines. I'm moving them around. Got weekly targets. Gap fill pretty much got filled Friday. Wow. Ooh. This is the only thing I played on Friday. One ticker, Micron. Worked out well. Played it twice, and profitable on both times. Ew. I think cows. They should have a different logo. Like every time I try to make my little dollar tool come out, it completely gonna drive me bonkers. We got continue two down, or we could have a reversal. Again, you know, with tech, I think it was tech in general, and maybe SPY did the same thing. We'll look at that in a minute. But at the end of the day, it just kind of said, "No, sir, we're not going back down," and reversed. And that's why we see a lot of these wicks like this. You know, these aren't necessarily hammers, so something to keep an eye on. At least when the market opens on Monday, see what we end up doing. But again, you know, Micron is just like AMD. Actually, it's a lot cheaper. You can play next week too, and it's cheaper. Last week, I swear these option contracts were, you know, $300 for the weeklies. Not the ones that were expiring next month. This 8th on the 8th, the ones that were expiring on the 1st, they were like $300 on Monday. I'm a little surprised to see them below 200. Or nah, was it? Hold on. No. Wait. Oh yeah, 329. That would make sense. Didn't notice that. They had earnings. So that would be why they were a lot higher. Okay. So I have broadening formation inside of broadening formation using the same top. See which one stays valid. You can see a bounce off this one. And there's another one. I think I did this broadening formation on a smaller time frame, probably like the 30-minute or the 1 hour. It looks like. So yeah, we'll try to take a look, see. But again, the price discovery coming downwards could bounce. We could also see it, you know, completely break through. I think we're gonna, if we go through downward, we're gonna be dealing with some hard times, not just in, you know, microchips. All right, it's Thursday, I think. That will not be a reversal anymore. That will be a 2 up. But what we have is a 2 up red candle. Ooh, and that's something else I did. I went and added what I'm gonna call failed twos to the Stratbot scanner. So when we start seeing like 2 up, like this stuff, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up. If this ended up being a 2 up red, we're gonna call that a failed 2, which would hopefully then tell us, you know, it would give us an indication that the next candle is probably going to be a 2 down. So then that's the reversal that we get to catch. So the whole idea was being able to do that and notify us on the 30-minute mark or the 1 hour, you know, candlesticks to be able to tell us reversals are impending. So yeah, that's exciting stuff. That should hopefully start working on Monday. Sit inside expansion, central liquidity pool bounce down or through. We'll see. But we are just pretty much bouncing this 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, failed 2 up. That's to me that might as well. That's just like consolidation, just more volatile. Wow, QCOM took out all of these. That's so. Come on, QCOM. We could either do a continued 2 down, goodness gracious, the next price target is going to be that 139.05 area. At what we look at here. At that point, how we fill the gap all the way back from November, bounced, and are coming back down. So we might be looking at a double bottom, maybe get a bounce back up, or and we go down further. 5, 4, 2, E. Dismal days for microchips. Chips in general. All right, tech. Did that bounce at the end of the day, just like every other thing we looked at. Looking at it continue to down, or ideally we'll get a reversal. Magnitudes on that. Reversal, riding formation. Make that wide. Can't miss that now. Wait. But and the hammer again, you know, it's not a fail 2 down, but we do definitely have buyers stepping in end of day. Same thing. It is down pre-market. See what Monday holds. That's all we can really do tomorrow. And I mean, goodness, if we have another down day, another 2 down day, we're looking at potential pivot machine guns. SPY, gonna be the same story. That line nice and thick. Definitely more of a hammer though. Buyers almost got it. We took out some targets. Reversal, or we could be looking at more downward movement. And last but not least, ExxonMobil of our list of lists. I think it's hard to read sometimes. Like it's so just everything's so spread out. The bodies are generally small, but it has pretty wide movements for this company. Side, not much magnitude for that first pivot on the upside, but this guy looks nice, and we are 2-1 on the weekly. Let's do that. We'll mark him up. 2-1-2 up on the week. That would be a 2-1-2 down on the week. So this would be a weekly price target. How's that a down? There's like no magnitude on the downside. Leave that as our weekly. So if we drop, we're dropping down. So this is a 3-2 down on the day. Did I just write these? How did I know that was going to 3-2? Oh, I moved the candles. Okay. I just tell the future. All right, so Get 2 down, continuation. Get 2-2 reversal. So I should actually get out there. So that is ExxonMobil. All right, the ones that everybody seems to always ask for: Tesla. Tesla came outside of the Brownian formation that we did. That's fine. What we could always do is add a new line since we clearly have a pivot here. The Brownian formation might have expanded. I don't actually trade Tesla. I'm going to go ahead and remove that Brownian formation line there. And out that guy, took out that guy with the blue. That one with the up. Probably should have left that, so I'm going to have to redraw in a minute. So we're looking at a 2 down. Daily. For a reversal. Good points to the upside. Definitely, over 115 or 1115, 60. Got a nice move to 1170. Guess I need to redraw these. I already just deleted. There's your downside play. No, it was Tesla. And, hold on, look at something here. No, not really. Wondering if they somehow maybe moved even just an inkling like each other, but doesn't seem to be the case. Uber, eBay. So we did CCL. All right. What else we got here? Uber. Here's our weekly. Uber moves a lot like Tesla does. We can just tell from that little flag right there. Oh. Okay. 212 potential. There's no magnitude on the downside. I mean, that's pretty much price target is going to be like 34.91 ish, something like that. Mark it up. Down on the day. Turn on. Up on the day. Green. Oh, that's money. A lot of resistance opportunity on the upside. Then at that point, you're actually back that out over here. Pretty much a double top. That's something to keep in mind. Back up to the 37.39 area. And then you got some nice upward magnitude. I'll put that into the trading trade ideas Crown Royal here in a bit. We got eBay. Touched this one in a while. Again, mainly this is the reason I look at these, and if I see really open interest or volume under 1,000, I don't touch it. Why? Getting into the option contracts. not necessarily the issue. Getting out becomes an issue. The spreads between the bid and the ask end up becoming a lot more wide. They end up being a lot wider because it's generally going to be based on the fact that you just don't have that many open buyers or sellers trying to come up with a consensus of what a fair price is. So keep that in mind if you're going to trade eBay. But anyway, chart it nonetheless. Pretty much right before the drop there, I guess. There's really nothing about this chart that I like right now. Last lower low is like here. The hourly. Let's change this to 4 hour. Maybe that gives us. There. This candle like completely messes up. And you try to attempt at making a Browning formation past this. I mean, we'll ignore it. eBay's ETR is like not too. It'd be so much better. All right, I'll quit knocking. Double day, 2-day consolidation. So 1-2. When I play 2-1-2s like this, I for the outside 1-2, or the outside one versus the inner one. Mainly because at that point you might as well just plan magnitude to the side of the one there. This is the first one, so I'll generally wait. And I try to, when I play stuff, I just want, oops, wrong color. I want so many things in my favor just to try to make this a positive trade. I don't want to sit here and risk my capital on something that might pan out for me. I'd rather have a 75% chance to win it. This is a 50. That's how we make money. And on top of that, the magnitude for that 2-1-2 on the downside is just sad. Keep that in mind too. So, I mean, if I were going to play this, I'd probably be looking down here anyway, because at least at that point you have some price action magnitude, not necessarily a pattern setup, but some price action magnitude. So, with that being said, I would almost say don't worry about your daily setup. Let's go look at the weekly. And the weekly actually looks a little bit better, mainly because you almost have a failed 2. So, if you were to move that price target or the entry point of that the 2-1-2 that we set on the daily down here to the 2 and 3 candles, and change this to a 2-2 reversal on the weekly, I like that setup a lot more for you. And then you got your, I guess you could do your 2-1-2 on the upside on the daily if you wanted to go that route, just because you actually have some upward magnitude there. So downside play, I'd be looking at the weekly reversal. Upside, always look at the side. CCO we did, was it MRO? Murrow. When I was experimenting, dang, I haven't touched this in a long time. Experimenting with like Fibonacci circles and bands and all kinds of craziness once upon a day. This is when technical analysis consumed me, and then it never worked out well. Splotchy that. Trade. Open interest volume's a little bit better. Another 2-1-2. Not a lot of upside though. Oh. So 14. So at that point, like I said, I'll chart it. I would play it. So upside, actual downside. Have MRO. Lee Otto. What? That. The worst kind of consolidation move ever. Sideways and forever. Both very apparent pivot points here. High of 31.97. F31.95. No. You're coming at me with all the 2-1s that you have, huh? Wow. I'm gonna draw something else here. Just all of this stuff. Cruel joke. What was that? 4 lines for no reason? I would almost not play this. Until it breaks out of that box. It's a $2 move, so I guess you could always play your options really quickly and closely since they do go in 50-cent increments. But again, excuse me, low open interest, low volume. Delta for 2 at the money on the call side are alright. Not horrible for the put side. So you can play it inside that box. This is just what I'm going to call a consolidation box. Nothing feels to me there. I mean, look at this guy here. This is a 2-1 or a 3-1-2. Ideally, you're going to be looking at like a bullish reversal here, or not a bullish continuation, or a bearish reversal. Magnitude on that on the weekly was this, but the fact that you pretty much high was 28.23, low is 25.57. So the only reason this became a 2-up candle is because it took out the 1 previous week by 7 cents. This might as well be this might as well be a 1 candle to me. Yeah, anyway, I'll try it. I'll even give you a Two down. Daily. Alright, so as far as points that will look at play, this 2 magnitude down is pretty lame. A whole 79 to 60, so a whole 19-cent move. Then you got a downside there, here. Upside, way more opportunity, mainly because the resistance points are much more spread out. Yeah. Consolidation. CMCS. That Comcast? It's funny, you know, when I started trading these tickers, I watching people chart. It was just once upon a day, forever ago. And man, how do they remember all these ticker names? Here I am. I'm a big boy. So this is a 2 up, 2 up. That'll be a continuation on the weekly as well, so that's interesting. Okay, so out of curiosity, I'm gonna do this right quick. What's this guy look like? Okay. Oh, back to that. Thanks. Thinkorswim. Not gonna look at that one. There. So be a 2 up continuation. Or we could be looking at a reversal. I like the reversal opportunity 47.44 to 46.85. Take a look at the weekly right quick. Good. Weekly again, just right now it's a 2 up, 2 up. So your downside reversal would be there. I'll write that. Oh, wrong line. Gotta draw it or say what it is. Price target here. And upside moves 48.20. Got some consolidation over here around the 48.30, between 48.20 and 48.32. And still a lot of pivot. I mean, this has quite a bit of resistance right here just because of previous consolidation. So beware. But then again, the consolidation, if you're in it long, this does add opportunities on this smaller time frame to add your position to. So yeah, Comcast. I didn't Viacom load. It's gonna bother me now. AI? No, it's not. I see. Viacom. Yeah, I see. Oh, all right. Weird. Comes up saying Viacom. Okay. Well, any other questions? Any other charts? Anything at all? Okay, well, nailed it on an hour, so I guess we'll leave it at that.